Wayne, what
Yes, sir.
position or position groups are you most excited to watch from a 49ers perspective?
My draft process this year, my scouting process has been straight to the offensive line, because I feel like that's one of the greatest areas of needs that we need to build. Now I know we're not drafting until pick 99. We're not drafting to the end of the third round. So my job was to figure out like, who are the most talented, who are probably going to go early. And being that this is a nice big offensive line draft class, there's going to be some really good talent that's going to be there around that third line. Now the question is, will you be able to get an offensive tackle? Will you be able to get a center? And I feel like we already have some project tackles and positions on the team already. So I don't know if the 49ers want to utilize
They
that, but
got bodies. They
they
have a
got
lot of bodies
I
there.
just don't know how if they're going to progress into what we need them to. Whereas like you drafted Spencer Burford in the fifth round and the dude started. So there's a possibility that the 49ers, that's because they needed one position to fulfill, but now they need two positions to fulfill. So we're going to have to see, they need a center, they need a right tackle. How's it going to work or whatnot? So in the draft, I'm really looking at the offensive lines, and I can't help that the same is going on the same day as my favorite position, which is the running backs. And so, I easily slid over to the running backs at the at the Senior Bowl because that's what I catered to. And when I tell you, I know you don't want me to pick out running backs for the
Do
49ers.
you, man? You do
You
you.
guys feel like we got running backs for days. Let me just remind you, Elijah Mitchell was unhealthy all season. I like Jordan Mason, but for some reason, he's not being bumped up on the depth chart. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with TDP. And there's some running backs in this draft that can do things some of the running backs that we have can't. So I'm not saying we're drafting a running back, but there's a kid out of Tulane. If he's there in the third round, named Tajay Spears, you can utilize him on special teams, and he will immediately upgrade your running back room, like immediately.
He's a
So
beast. He's a
he's a beast.
beast. And I'll say this, Burford was drafted in the 4th round at the end of the
Fourth
4th
round. I'm
round.
sorry.
But
Kills.
yes, I'm with you
I mean,
there. My deepest positions in this draft so far, cornerbacks number 1, there's so
mhm.
many good corners. Running backs number 2, quarterbacks number 3, not because the top shelf quarterbacks, but I think that there's legitimately 7 or 8 quarterbacks that will go in the top 3 rounds. I think that top end, you're not getting your Burrows or whatever else, but man, there's a lot of like guys I could see working out. And then tight ends. Those are my 4 deepest positions. So corners, running backs,
Tight ends are deep.
quarterbacks, and then tight ends.
It's weird
Now,
that you said quarterbacks, John, because I don't think the quarterback. I take that back. The quarterback class is deep, but it's not good.
yeah, and I like that because of where the 49ers are. I do expect the 49ers to
Oh,
draft a quarterback. And
okay.
so usually it's like, okay, there's like 2 or 3 first round guys, 1 or 2 second, third round guys, then the rest are just whatevers. I
Correct.
think that there's a legitimate amount of quarterbacks that are third, fourth, fifth round picks. Like usually it's like if you're not a third round quarterback, like I can't really see much, throw it in the back. I think there's a lot of guys that could go, fourth, fifth round this year that, man, I could see a path for them developing into a player. So
Who's your
like, well,
who's your favorite QB uh, that you think may be lingering around? Or actually, who's your favorite QB in this draft class? Just curious, even if it's the top one.
if I had to go number one, I like CJ Stroud just because
CJ
he's
Stroud.
just the purest passer. But I am gigantic on the Tennessee kid. I really, really like
Really?
Hendon Hooker. I do. I really, really like him. 6'4", 218. He's older, played in 47 games. I I watch his film and I'm happy. But again, would I spend a top 10 pick on him? I would not. He tore his ACL in November. So I think this is somebody that could fall to the second, possibly third round that I think has crazy, crazy upside. I think a team like Minnesota, the Vikings, you could take him, let Kirk Cousins have his last year, then make that transition. I really like Hendon Hooker. I like Jake Howard. I pronounced his name wrong. But
Jake Hayner?
yeah, Hayner, the
Yeah.
Florida State,
Fresno.
Fresno State.
Fresno. Fresno.
He's small, but I just like him. I just really, really like him.
He
And so
he had he is that Brock Purdy type of a player. And so at 6'1", he's a little tiny, but he could come in here and move the sticks. And so I
and
think I get why you
49ers are in the market.
they I get why I get why you like that. And I agree that they do look to draft a quarterback it probably won't be in the 7th round. It may be what's going on, Chris? It may be a little earlier. And it depends on who's on the board. Because if Jay Kaner is there in the 3rd round, whew, and we got 3 picks. Don't you go best player available? I know we need what we need, but Jake might be a pick that you could bring in, and it helps the competition in the quarterback room. I think that's the key.
The 49ers will have 3 picks almost within 5, right? So
Yes.
99, 101, and then probably like 102. So like the 49ers, like you've got like 3 picks like in a row, and then you don't have another pick until the 5th round. So you'll be picking like 102. Then your next pick is 155 currently. You have nothing in the 4th round. So you got 3 shots. Maybe they trade up, maybe they trade back, whatever. But I'm just saying, quarterback or running back. I don't think you do both in the 3rd round, but I think one of those is a possibility. I don't think that you spend it on both. I would be going corner and D line and O line there, but
Yeah,
that's
me
just
too.
me.
Yeah, those are
That's
my
just
3 picks. So you said corner. I'm more safe. If there's a safety that I have ranked high on the draft board with one of those 3 picks, I'm picking a safety. If I can get the safety out of Georgia, kudos. If he's available there, absolutely, I'll pick him first. There are a couple of D lines do. I had to ask you. There's a defensive lineman from Texas, Ojomo.
me.
Uh, I want to
So,
know where you have him on your draft board because I really like the kid.
are you talking about the defensive tackle?
Defensive tackle, yes.
Because Coburn is my favorite. There's 2 of them there.
Okay.
Texas has 2. So here I'll scroll through my notes here. Let me just give a second. I got to make this a little bit faster process. So Keandre Coburn is by far my favorite. I got a 3rd round grade on him,
Okay.
and I'm mock drafting him considerably. 6'2", 343, just absolute run stuffer, absolute beast. I like him a lot. Now, once you get into the other cat, I like him. I don't like him near as much. He's one of those guys which Texas does this a lot, where he's an end slash tackle, so the
Ah,
versatility fits.
but
But
He's a Charles Omenihu.
uh probably he's not near as lean, I would say. Um, but I do like him, but not near as much as I
Well, the
want somebody that's going to stuff the run. That's kind of where I'm at. But man, you get to that spot on the back end. I don't know, man. It just gets hard. It just gets hard to find starting caliber edge players. If you look at the top players at the edge position,
oh my
they're
gosh.
almost all 1st and 2nd picks.
Yeah, they're gonna be gone.
Almost always.
Yeah, they're
So
gonna be gone.
Coburn would be the guy that I'm a huge fan of at that spot. I think it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Morrow, he's fun. He's got a good motor. I like him. He's fun to watch. But I think Coburn the whole time since he was a freshman, I've been like, this dude's playing in the league.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.